Hello, darlings, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Queen J. Shanae, coming at you with a review. I know I'm a couple days late, but I have been busy and was out of town. But I wanted to do my review on Season 2, House of the Dragon, Episode 1, called A Son for a Son. I'm going to be looking at my notes. But I just wanted to do a review because I enjoyed the show. The last 10-15 minutes had me on the edge of my bed. But that's what you call good TV. So we are back. We're back in Westeros. And now when it comes to the opening, they kept the same song from Game of Thrones, and they changed the opening though to look like kind of like a tapestry or a woven blanket, kind of like weaving together all of I guess what the season is about or what's in seasons to come. I didn't really pay too much attention because I was just lost. I do like their last opening that they had last year, to where it's like the blood was flowing throughout the world and how they're connected. I like that opening compared to season 2. Anyways, they opened, of course, with a recap of season 1, and thank goodness I didn't have to watch too much of that because I already rewatched season 1 last week. So let's see, where do we get started? The episode begins with a voiceover, and I believe the voice belongs to Lord Cregan Stark, I believe, which is where we was left off, to where who was it? Jace was supposed to go to Winterfell to, remind the Starks of their oath of bending the knee to Rhaenyra when King Viserys was alive last season, and they swore to, be there for King Rhaenyra. So the son, of course, flew there to get their support, to make sure that they're going to get their continued support. Anyways, so let's see. Like I said, I believe Jace was there with Cregan Stark. So they were there. Jace is talking to, I'll just say Stark, as they were going up the elevator to the top of the wall. And he's asking, Stark if they'll still basically stand with them when the war comes, inevitably when it comes. Are you going to, stick to your oath? Anyways, Stark was trying to tell him, like, I need my men here. For a very important reason. Of course, we know the reason, but Jace didn't know the reason. But he's like, what do y'all need all these men for when, you have a 700-foot wall just to keep out the weather and some wildlings? And he's like, no, we're keeping out death. So also they have shown a tradition of how the Starks have to pick someone from their house to go serve at the wall. So I was like, that was a cool little, detail. And I believe he ended up giving him, he called them graybeards, which probably means like the men are still good, not particularly in their prime, but they're still good. Probably in their late 40s, early 50s, something like that. When you say graybeards, something like that. But he gave them, I believe, around 2,000 men to to the cause of, getting Rhaenyra on that throne. So, what else? Then we go to Dragonstone, where we see uh, Daemon. Well, first we see Rhaenyra's. I can't remember how to say her name, but their cousin. And she had just got done with her riding her. I believe her dragon is called Meleys. But anyways, we have seen her just get off of her dragon, and she's ready to, get some food, refuel, take a nap, so she can get back out. So she can get back out there. And Daemon is like, no, we need to go back out right now. We need to go to King's Landing because we need to go kill Vhagar. Vhagar is the biggest dragon, existing at the time. And they want to, of course, kill the rider, which is Aemond. And we seen last season Aemond killed Lucerys, or AKA Luke, R.I.P. Luke. So he was saying, with my dragon and your dragon, we can kill Vhagar. But she then asks, well, is this an order from my queen? And he's like, no, it's not. She's been gone for days, and we find out that she's gone because, of course, she's in grief, and they told her that Luke died, but she has gone to try and find proof. And Rhaenyra tries to tell him, like, a mother, whatever she needs to do to get over that grief or get the grief going or whatever, she's gonna have to do it. So she understood. She understood why Rhaenyra was gone, and they said she was gone for days. So it ended up, like I said, she declining to get back on her dragon and go back out. Period. So let's see what was next. Oh, now we go to King's Landing. We're in King's Landing, and we see King Aegon coming to his wife's room, Helaena, and looking at the kids because he couldn't tell which was which. But he's like, "Where's my son?" I think his name is Jaehaerys, like the king before Viserys. I think his name was Jaehaerys too. Anyways, he's like, where's his son? And she's like, in the library, don't bother him. And he was like, well, it's a small council meeting and I want to take him. So she's like, well, maybe he don't want to be king. And a lot of the times Helaena just be shrugging. People don't listen to her, so they be shrugging everything she says off. So then she says, I'm scared. And he's thinking that she's meaning I'm scared of the dragons. And he tells her there's nothing to be afraid of. They have Vhagar. Vhagar is the biggest dragon in the world at this time. And she's like, no, I'm not afraid of that. I'm afraid of the rats. So then everyone looks around like, where these rats at? Where they at? I thought we sent out the exterminator to come get these rats. Where, we don't see no rats. So then the king tries to play it off like, oh, basically, don't listen to her. She's crazy, and y'all know that. You already know that. So don't listen to her. Then we go to the room of former Queen Alicent Hightower Targaryen, or Alicent Targaryen, and she's getting her box worked on. She's getting her box kissed and licked by Sir Criston Cole. the hypocrites. Well, I guess you could say both of them are hypocrites, because they were so staunch in, their beliefs, and everyone else was around them doing wrong, and they were doing their best to be right, and try to do right, try to be right, try to live right. I believe, and that's why they were so, I believe, hard on Rhaenyra, is because it's like, man, I don't have that luxury to be free, or I don't feel like I can be free like that. It was probably a bit of jealousy of Rhaenyra, that they couldn't be as free as her. So he, like I said, he's working on that box, licking his stick, licking, kissing and licking the box. And then after they were done, of course, Alicent says, this can't happen again. This can't go on again. And plus, they were needed at the small council meeting, so they had to hurry it on up. And she helped him get dressed and all that. They headed off to the small council meeting. When they walked in, her dad peeped what was going on, because you just know, looking at people, you just know what's going on. I believe at this point probably everybody knows that they're sleeping together, or have some type of relationship, or they have maybe an inkling or whatever, and then they get confirmation later. But yeah, Sir Criston Cole is at his post, all right. He's putting his post in Alicent. That's what's going on. So the meeting starts, and they bring this. He brings his son in. The king brings his son in, and sits him next to what is his name? Tywin Lannister. And the boy is just playing. Everyone is speaking like important things to try to talk to the king about. And the king is watching his son play with Tywin, and how Tywin is interacting with his son. And then the king interrupts, or Aegon interrupts, to say, hey, Tywin, basically leave him alone. He can do whatever he wants. And basically, you're going to be his steed for today. So why don't you give him a piggyback ride, or a horse ride, or something like that, until Alicent shut it down. And then they took the kid out of there. After the kid leaves, Aemond comes in, and Alicent's like, why the heck are you in? Why are you in here? And he's like, I was called by my king. And the king says, I wanted him here, so I guess he's on the council now. And he starts to strategize and stuff when he walks in. And Alicent didn't like that. And then they mentioned something about, of course, Aemond killing, Jacaerys. Luke Harris, or Luke. I'll just say Luke. But all she did was give him a look. She didn't say nothing or chastise him. I don't know if she did, before this council meeting, but we didn't see it. We didn't see any consequences of him and his actions pertaining to Luke. We didn't see it. So let's see. After the meeting, Alicent runs into Larys Strong. Larys Strong, the guy who has, killed his father and brother, and his, handicapped foot. Runs into him in the hallway, and of course he has to say, "Oh, I was trying to get a hold of you before the council meeting, but you were indisposed. I heard your maiden say you was busy, and guess what? I know who you was busy doing." So we already know that he knows what's going on, just as her dad clocked her before the council meeting. Larys already knew. So no, he already knew about her, and in Kristen Cole or whatever. And now also he mentions to Alicent that, hey, I've gotten rid of all your enemies basically, and I personally handpicked your staff. So basically, so basically, she's being watched, or they're going to be loyal to him probably before her. I know it's going to come up in some type of way later on because we know this guy loves information and loves certain things, and now that he has picked her whole staff, who knows what's going to happen with that. So let's see. He's just gross. So the next thing we see Rhaenyra, looking for some evidence of Luke's death, and she sees that some, I guess, fishermen had pulled a wing from the sea, or it washed up on the beach or whatever. I don't know if it washed up or actual fishers found it. I don't know. But Rhaenyra goes to the beach, lands her dragon, and she found the proof that she so desperately needed / wanted. She's of course seen the wing of the dragon, and then she's seen a piece of clothing of Luke's and took that with her. So far, the queen hasn't said anything in the whole episode, which is fine to me. So let's see. Okay, now we're back at King's Landing, and it's time for King Aegon to listen to the grievances of his people, or what do they call it? Anyways, they listening to the grievances of his people. So the first person, his grievance was, I let y'all have, I don't remember how much of sheep, and basically he needs them back, or would like them back. I don't know. Sorry, this chair is squeaky. And I have to give it to the King Aegon. He was, I feel, trying to do the right thing by making it right with this man and his flock. But also I did see where Otto Hightower was coming from as well. If you're going to help one person, you're then going to have to help everybody, which then defeats the purpose of their offerings of their livestock to our dragons, because we need them to eat, we need them to have energy, because there's a war a coming, there's war a brewing, there's stuff going on. So I understand where Otto was saying, because he was like, well, we can just do it for him, we won't do it for nobody else. But if that gets around that he helped one person, everyone's going to assume that it's going to apply to them too. So I understand that. Got it. Understand. Let's see. The next person that comes up talks about I think needing money to make scorpions, which is a weapon that helps shoot down dragons. And he was saying we need the money up front, before we can really pour all our times and efforts and get the manual labor that we need. And King Aegon said, well, we're nothing without the small folks. We're nothing without the help of the people that makes this castle or world go round, which is true. I appreciated that part of King Aegon, because he's right. If you don't have the people on your side, and if you don't have the people and judge them fairly and things like that, you don't, they can rise up against you. There's more of them than there are of the royals and their servants and all this and that. So he was right about that. I did like that part. um, so then after he, let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, after he was done talking to the I don't know, petitioners, I guess you could say, petitioners, he then, goes about his merry way and runs into Lord Laris, or Laris, I don't know how to say his name, Lord Strong. And, of course, purposefully he runs into him and he says to him, basically, you should be your own man. Otto Hightower has served your king, your dad, but, do you want to come off like your dad because he seemed weak? And you should, have your own hand. And I think, of course, he's trying to slip himself in there to be his hand. Then he would have some type of leverage over King Aegon and Alicent. So I think he's trying to get Otto Hightower's job. And he played on his emotions of not like being talked to or talked at, or given unwanted advice from his mom and grandfather. He does not like that. He doesn't like it, even though he was not trained to rule. And these people had actually not only ruled, Alicent did rule while Viserys was sick. I don't know why they didn't just let Aegon try and learn stuff too, even if they believed that Alicent was going to be the queen. Maybe he could learn something. Like, you can't learn anything. Anyways, to get to my point, he's tired of being under his mother and grandfather's thumb, basically, and he thinks he knows what he's doing, and he don't. He was not taught. He was not taught, and nor did he learn on his own like his brother. His brother learned on his own. What is it? Aemond learned on his own when it came to all that stuff that they need to know for ruling. So, Queen Rhaenyra then returns to Dragonstone, and she's still not said a word the whole episode. She walks in, she, walks through the halls. They announce her in the small council room or throne room. I don't know which room it was. And she's just looking broken. And she goes to the front. And all she says the whole episode is, "I want Aemon Targaryen," to her council. She didn't say how. She didn't say when. Well, she means now. But she didn't say how. And that's all Daemon needed to hear. That's all he needed to hear. But that's all she said is, "I want Aemon Targaryen." And she walked out. I said, you go, girl. The only line in this whole daggone movie, but you didn't act your face off in the rest of these scenes, even though you had no dialogue. That's the only dialogue she had. So she walks out of the council room after saying that. And Daemon gets to work. Talking to the lady he used to have relations with. I believe she used to be a whore in King's Landing. I'm not sure. I believe she was. I didn't go over the part where she was found on one of the sea snakes boats as a stowaway. and now that she's at Dragonstone, she's a prisoner. And in exchange for her freedom, Daemon wants information. Wants information so he can get closer to his goal of getting Aemond head on a platter for Rhaenyra. So, let's see. After that, like I said, he started scheming and things like that. Whatever. Then we see Criston Cole and Aemond, I guess, in his room, making plans like they're in charge. Neither one of them have power, but they talking like they do. They talking like they want power, but neither of them have it. And they, I feel, do want war because it's going to be inevitable. They want to get physical. They want to start killing. We know the only person that had combat training was in combat was Sir Criston Cole, and we know Aemond is ready at the drop of a hat to commit some violence. So he's ready. He's ready to start killing folks. And while they're conversing, he's talking about how the king is under his mom and his grandpa's thumb. And, he was talking about that. And then he's also talking about his mom, how his mom is not innocent, and how his mom also helped conspire to usurp Rhaenyra's throne. So if anyone ever tells you, oh, it's Aegon's throne and Aegon was the rightful ruler, in people's hearts, they know that Rhaenyra was supposed to be the queen after Viserys died. Everyone knows that. But he's talking about his mom conspiring with the small council to put his brother on the throne as soon as possible. And that's what happened. And he just wants to get his war. So guess who walks in on him? Otto Hightower. Grandpa walks in on him and it's like, Criston Cole, get on your job. Why are you never at your job? You either screwing Alicent and you up here talking about the stuff you don't need to be talking about. Get on your post. I need to talk to him. Get on your post and get out of here. So basically, he's trying to, I think, pacify Aemond by saying, talking about his brother a little bit and how he's hot-headed and that he doesn't mind that he's eager, that Aemond is eager. Otto don't mind that Aemond is eager to please and eager to, start killing basically. But he's like, there's a time and there's a strategy about it. You're going to get what you want. He's basically saying, you're going to get what you want. You just can't rush it. You have to do things in decency and in order, in some type of order, and you're trying to rush it. You're going to get what you want. Just wait. You're going to get what you seek, which is war. Be patient for now. That's basically what he was saying. Then we see Daemon find, I guess these guys' code names was Blood and Cheese. First, it was a guard that he found out from the White Snake or whatever her name is, the White something. Found out that she told him, meaning Daemon, that there was a guard on the Night's Watch, I guess, that didn't like the Hightowers. So talk to him. And Daemon snuck into King's Landing, bribed him with some money, and then they went to go find the pest control guy because he's always in there. He knows the castle. So they went to go find him. And Daemon presents them with opportunity. Hey, I heard you're a gambler. You're probably in debt. I know you know your way around in the castle. I want y'all to kill somebody for me. They're like, who? And he's like, Prince Aemon Targaryen. And of course, he has white hair and he has one eye. He has a patch. So he explained what he looked like. And I don't know if he said then and there, but he's like, I want his head. I want his head. And he means he wants his head. That's what he means. He wants his head. So Cheese then asked, which is the rat catcher. I don't know if he had a name, but the rat catcher, we'll call him Cheese, and the other one was Blood. Cheese was like, well, what if we can't find this man? Because Daemon did pay them half up front, and then they were going to get the other half once they had Aemon's head. So they're like, what if we can't find Aemon? That he said, which is a great question. But that's the thing. When he asked that question, there was no response from Daemon. There was no response from Daemon, which I don't know. I don't know quite how to interpret that. I don't know if they mean to say, well, do something else, kill somebody else. Could it be anybody else? I don't know. They weren't clear on that. So right, that happens. Let's see what happens next. So let's see. Okay, so they start making their, these two start, which they also have a dog with them as well. And he bought the dog on purpose because the dog is always with him when he's doing his rat catcher job. So, he's trying to be inconspicuous, like he's not there. So they come through tunnels and drains first before they even get into the castle. So they go through the tunnels and drains. They get into the castle. They walk around freely. No one's stopping them because they're inconspicuous, and there's a rat catcher there all the time anyway. So he had been there all the time. So and if you go back and watch the episode, you can see how many scenes the rat catcher guy was in just in the background. It was like 2 or 3 times before he was even asked to kill Aemon. Aemon. I went back and watched it and I was like, oh my gosh, there he is right there. There he is right there. And it was just so subtle, and it was done on purpose for us to not see him like that. Anyways, to get to the point, they have a dilemma to where they get to the point where the rat catcher has gone basically where he's always been and never been to the actual chambers of the royal family, so he does not know where to go or which room exactly Aemon is in. So of course Blood then threatens him, and he opens up this secret passage or whatever to get to some secret steps, I believe, that lead to the royal bedrooms. They first go to the bedroom where Aemon actually was with Criston Cole and Otto, but he wasn't there. And I'm like, for this to be a castle, where the heck is all these guards? Where Criston Cole, you two, let me not get on him right now. Because Alicent was doing that. Let me not get on him. But where are others Night's Watch? Shouldn't the queen have a guard? When Rhaenyra was there, well, she wasn't the queen, but she even had a guard at her door as a princess. And this is the queen, and this is the king and queen's kids, and there's no guards. Not one guard. Anyways, so they go to, like I said, they go to the room where Aemon was, but he wasn't there. They go to another room and they end up finding the Queen Helaena. I think that's how you say her name, Helaena. And they immediately, of course, put a knife to her throat, and I'm not sure. I think they asked, "Where's Damon?" I'm not sure. I don't remember. But she's like, "Here, take my necklace," and they snatched the necklace anyway. So while Cheese has got the knife pointed to her, Blood is looking at both children. I guess one is a boy, one is a girl, and by their um, features, by their hair and all that, they could not tell which one was a boy and which one was a girl. Just as in the beginning, when King Aegon had to physically look at them to say, "Hey, where's my son?" So, anyways, to get to the point, they then asked Helena, "Which one is the boy?" Because it's about to be a son for a son since we can't find Aemond. She then points to her son, which was on the left side. There was left and right side. She pointed to her son, which was on the left side. So then he was like, "Man, maybe this isn't right. Maybe this isn't right." And Cheese, which still had her at knife point, said, "No, she's basically scared out of her mind. She's not lying. That's the one." So they go over to the little boy. Oh, Lord Jesus. They go over to the little boy and put his big old hand on his whole face. Then goes to do this to the kid. Kid wakes up and all we hear is ch 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 ch. Helena quickly grabs her daughter, starts booking it downstairs to her mother's room, which I believe used to be Queen Rhaenyra's room. I believe that used to be her room. So anyways, she then opens the door and her freaking mom is riding Criston Cole instead of once again him being at his job, doing his duty as a freaking bodyguard. But you're up here guarding the pussy. You're up here beating the pussy. You're up here doing everything but what you're not supposed to be doing. And she brings her daughter in there and says, "The boy is gone. The boy is dead." And everybody should feel a certain way. The king should feel a way that why was there no guards there? I mean, not Helena. She shouldn't feel a way. But Sir Criston Cole, you should feel a way. You weren't on your post. I don't know where Aemond went, but hopefully we will see where everybody was at or what people was doing when this happened. Because I just don't understand how the queen is unguarded. And we know from last season that King Viserys and Queen Alicent didn't share a room. They probably was next door to each other, but they didn't share a room. So I understand the king not being in her room, but not being in her room because he was probably either in his own or he was probably out screwing, making more bastards. I don't know, but he should really feel away, and Sir Criston Cole should be fired. He should be fired. So that is my that was my review of the first episode of House of the Dragon season 2 episode 1. I felt like it was a great episode. It was a great beginning to what I hope is a great, not just season, but series. People said it will be better than Game of Thrones because this one actually has an ending to it, and they have a blueprint for it and everything like that. They have all the material that they would have to need to do the whole show. But it was a great episode, great start. One, good, good. I just can't wait for stuff to start popping off. But what I just hate that there's going to be, of course, casualties and death and stuff like that. But it's inevitable now. Um, After Lucerys died, and now after the king's heir, the boy, the oldest, is dead. I can't imagine what's going to happen now. I can't imagine what's going to happen now when you find out your heir, your pride and joy, your son is gone. I wonder if he's going to blame Helena. I hope not, because I mean, it wasn't her fault, and she tried to give y'all a warning saying I'm scared of rats. But they don't. They just brush her off as if she's crazy, which I understand in one way, but on another, they should, to me, as the king at least, should have been like, oh, if you're scared of something, then we're gonna have more than one guard guarding you until you feel safe. Maybe that's a night or two, maybe that's a week from now, who knows? But we'll double up on the guards until you feel safe. Least you could do. Least you could do. But thank you so much. Like, subscribe. If you have any comments, I will read your comments, and I will respond to the comments as well. Like, subscribe, share. And thank you, Queen J. Shanae, out. And God bless.